So I invite you to ask yourself, do I unapologetically receive? Do I unapologetically allow myself to receive? Do I unapologetically allow myself to want what I want in a way without judgment, without all the opinions and the noise in my head? Do I allow myself to truly go for it? Because if you're not, it's time to really check in with yourself and ask yourself deeper questions. Hey guys, welcome to the first new video of the year. Okay, so today I've really been thinking about desire and this really interesting thing that I see happen in the spiritual community is, we all kind of have well, not all of us, but some of us have this mentality of where we have these beliefs around desire. And in the spiritual community, there's this whole philosophy of, you need to be like a monk, and desire is bad and desire is wrong and materialism is bad and we shouldn't want what we want. We shouldn't want things. And throughout my entire spiritual journey, I feel like, there's been a time frame where I was that person. And there's also a time frame where I've realized that it's not necessarily that desire is bad. It's these limited beliefs in our minds due to society and what we see and how people approach desire. But desire at its core is rooted in our soul's expansion. So what I've really seen is this whole concept of desire. Now you really have to ask yourself this, desire itself is not bad or wrong. We believe that way when we approach it from almost this very surface level where we're not really seeing how much desire influences our lives. Desire teaches us to grow. Desire really helps us expand and move forward. Desire really helps us really get into this place where we're almost like we're not allowing ourselves to tap in fully to something until we fully break through into our next level of expansion, our next level of growth. And when we do that, we're really not allowing ourselves to get honest with ourselves because we're only letting that surface level desire exist. So we have to think about this concept of I can't want what I want. I can't have what I want. Desire is wrong. Desire is bad. Desire is just too ego for me. It's just greedy. It's just selfish. All of this is just noise in our minds that keeps us in a holding pattern from truly receiving what we want. And so what I've really learned is especially in the spiritual community, we have to get gut real honest with ourselves and ask, do we allow ourselves full permission to receive? Do we allow ourselves full permission to fully uncover what we truly want? Because one of the big missing pieces of manifesting is getting unapologetically clear with what you want. Because if you're not unapologetically clear on what you want, how are you supposed to fully receive it? You can't. You're in a muddled, wishy-washy vibration. So when we only approach things from this level of, well, I can't, that's just way too ego, that's just too selfish of me, that's just, I can't what I want. And then we push it down and we push it down and we push it down and we push it down. And so many of us, hold on, let me get the door. So many of us approach manifesting from this level of but I fully can't want what I want. So we're really kind of in this conflicted vibration where we're not fully allowing ourselves to receive, but we're not fully allowing ourselves to move forward. And so it's kind of like we're perpetuating the same problem over and over, which is in reality self-sabotage because we're in a holding pattern towards what we truly desire and want. So if we're only approaching manifesting from this level of like, I feel like I can only have like these, where I'm only feeling into these surface level desires, like such as like something that's like cool, like I want to manifest a car because it's cool. But we're not fully tapping in to like, what do I truly need? What do I truly need to feel the most love and fulfillment within myself? What do I truly need to feel soul nourished and in that radiance energy of like beauty and feeling like a god or a goddess? What does that person within me like truly want and desire? Like that is something that it's not necessarily a physical, material, tangible thing. That is actually something that's more of a feminine goal. It's more of a feminine intention, and you're desiring something for emotional fulfillment. So what I've really learned is a lot of times we approach these like concepts without really understanding like the bare guts of it, which is like our desires are a gift from the divine, showing us our soul's natural level of expansion, how we tap into our emotional needs, our emotional longings, that place within us that is, it's so much more than just like a primal fixation, surface level desire. Instead, it's that place within us that is like filled with dreams, filled with longings, filled with like this imaginative, like playfulness energy that exists within ourselves. And that can only be accessed when we fully allow ourselves to give ourselves permission to go for it, when we allow ourselves to tap into that place. And when we don't do that, instead we're just saying all these things like desire is bad, I can't want what I want, I have to put my needs and desires last. And what you're doing is you're being of disservice to your soul's natural expansion. So if we start to see that desire is the tipping point to expansion, we have to see that when we are honoring our desires, we're honoring our emotional fulfillment, which allows us to easily rise up into our next level. It allows us to rise up into our next level of embodiment, rising up into our next level of ascension, awakening, healing, whatever you want to call it. We're basically rising up into a different vibration, which is naturally our alignment. So when we approach desire only from this lens of like, it's just wrong to want what I want, all we're doing is creating excuses towards having what we deeply want and desire. And that's truly it. So I invite you to ask yourself, do I unapologetically receive? Do I unapologetically allow myself to receive? Do I unapologetically allow myself to want what I want in a way without judgment, without all the opinions and the noise in my head? Do I allow myself to truly go for it? Because if you're not, it's time to really check in with yourself and ask yourself deeper questions about realizing, do I just hold myself back? Or do I allow myself to get over those excuses and know that I can receive, and know that I can unapologetically receive, knowing that I can give myself permission to receive, knowing fully that it's okay to want what I want? There's a moment of relief when you realize it's okay to want what I want. It's okay to have desires. It's okay to be a human and have desires. Desires is natural points of expansion in our life. A child desires to be a big kid. It's the same thing. We are approaching manifestation from this lens as if like things are wrong and things are bad. But the reality is energy is actually neutral at its core, and it only means what we take it to mean. We're the ones that define the meaning. So how are you approaching desire? How do you feel about desire? Are you allowing yourself to receive? And are you allowing yourself to really get honest with yourself on, do you tap in fully to what you want? Do you ask yourself what you want? Do you put your soul needs and desires first? Do you allow yourself to unapologetically get real with yourself and ask yourself, what do I truly want and desire for my life? So this is all stuff I'll be covering in depth in my new workshop, Awaken Your Aligned Vision. If you would like to join us, you can sign up below. I'd love to hear from you. If you guys have any questions at all about this topic, drop them below. Subscribe, hit the little bell. I love ya.